Hello, everybody watching here in the live audience and at home. Welcome to Demon's Souls. I am blanxz. I am so excited to be here to represent the Demon's Souls community. This is going to be the remake version released in 2020 on the PlayStation 5. I am a speedrunner of this game, other Souls games, Lies of P, Elden Ring, etc. I am joined by my commentator, Carter. If you can introduce yourself.
Hey, everybody. I'm Carter. I'm also a Souls speedrunner and challenge runner, and I'm very excited to be here on the couch supporting blanxz in this glitchless run of Demon's Souls. The game's so nice, they made it twice. Are you guys ready to slay some demons?
All right, yeah, so we're going to be starting out as the Magician class, because magic is very, very good in this game. We're going to use the Bright Water as starting gift. We'll explain later. We're going to be using animation style B, because our rolling animation actually is a little bit smoother for a part in the game that we'll point out, obviously. However, we are ready to start, so I'm going to finalize character creation, and then I will tell you when time is coming up. I will skip the cutscene really quick. We don't care about King Lot the 12th. We will start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
All right. Welcome to the Nexus, guys. We are trapped here. If you play the tutorial, you get punched by God, and you get sent to the Nexus pretty much, and you are trapped here. And we're stuck in what's called soul form, which is a version of yourself where you've lost your body. You are now just a soul. And you want to explain what soul form does for us, Carter?
Yeah, so when you're in soul form, your max HP is reduced by 50%. They really kind of set the tone for their whole catalog with this game by starting you at the very beginning of the very first Souls game at half health. So blanxz is going to have to do some pretty careful pathing here. We've got some very dangerous enemies already in this very first area, and we need to make sure we don't take too much damage, obviously, because our health is reduced.
Yeah. 1-1 is a super dangerous level in general. I'm going to grab some fire bombs here, by the way, because the first boss is weak to fire. 1-1 is a big enemy gauntlet. We're going to be carefully running past all the enemies, rolling past them. Every runner that's came and gone with Demon's Souls, you start here, so this is just the bread and butter. It looks easy, however, if you try this casually, you'll realize soon that you cannot run past every single enemy. It is very, very tough to do so. So as you can see, we are just running enemy after enemy. Coming here is a little skip, if you want to give us a little bit of context, Carter.
Yeah, we call this skip Boulder Skip, and you may have just guessed why. Basically what he did there was position himself at a specific spot on that staircase, and then by rolling into the boulder as it comes towards them, we're able to take no damage and move past the boulder. Normally you're supposed to run back down the stairs or take the boulder to the face and die, and we don't want to do either of those because that's slow.
Yeah. So anyway, we're simply just, rinsing and repeating the same movement patterns, running past enemies and whatnot. So we do have time for a few donations as we run through Baltaria.
Absolutely, you've got plenty of love coming in. $25 from Delicious, who says, "Hi, blanxz. Did you know I love your speedruns as much as the old monk loves chairs? I am so proud of you. You are my favorite person. My $25 goes towards killing the maiden. Shout out to Tech Crew and everyone behind the scenes. Lesson 3.
Thank you so much. We have time for about one more.
Absolutely. Another $25 from It's Montage. So proud of my son, blanxz. It's his big day, and I know he's going to do so well. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Montage.
Thanks, Montage.
So coming up here is a very, very dangerous bridge. If you want to give us some context, Carter, I'm going to focus up here for a little bit.
Yeah, the context is that we are in an extreme amount of danger, and blanxz needs to move very carefully through all these enemies. There's, I believe, 13 enemies on that bridge, and great job there, actually. That often goes much worse than what we just saw. So great job there on the bridge. And you can kind of tell, like, a lot of the tech in this run, since we're doing it glitchless, is all about positioning ourselves and moving in these kind of minute, very precise ways to kind of bait the enemies to attack and miss. So there's a lot of very careful minor pathing here, and also some pretty intricate pathing here where we're going to try and jump down this large tower.
Yeah, fall damage in this game is very, very forgiving. It's either you take like 10% of your health or you just instantly die. So you have to be very careful about fall damage. We're going to be grabbing some grass here. This is going to be our healing items, our main healing items for the run. So there's different tiers. There's crescent, half, full. There's a bunch of tiers. That's like the second tier. We're going to be starting the first boss fight, though. This is going to be the phalanx, and I'm going to be starting out by putting some fire on my weapon. And I'm also going to be throwing some fire bombs over the top so I can take care of these hot-blade enemies here. If you throw the fire bombs above, you kind of get a bit more of a wider spread here.
That looks really good.
Yeah, we're using the fire bombs here because you need to kill a certain amount of these hoplites to gain access to the center. The center is actually how you damage the boss. It's very gimmicky. A lot of bosses in this game have gimmicks like this because it's very like dated RPG. But it's really cool because the remake is just like a nice like fresh coat of paint on top of that. But anyway, as you can see, that's the final couple hits of Phalanx. That's the first boss of the run.
Yeah, very nicely done there. Demon number 1 vanquished.
Yeah, what's cool about Glitchless actually is that you end up fighting all the main bosses in the game. You only skip the tutorial Vanguard boss, which is just a, we don't fight that in 90% just because you can skip the tutorial. We're gonna be picking up here, by the way, from this merchant a dagger. We're gonna be picking up 5 mana potions. Our goal now that we got to the Nexus, we got a little cutscene. We need to go speak to the Monumentals up top. They will grant us access to the other worlds. The only world we could have gone to was the first world. The access to other Archstones will be cut off until we talk to the Monumental. And this is the world's longest staircase, so we have time for a donation. Take it away.
Actually, I want to give a quick notification that our number go up for 100 people, 100 meals for people in need. We are at 405 out of that $500.
Nice.
I want to see that hit before the next boss. How much time do you think they got, blanxz?
Next boss, we got about like 8 minutes or so.
All right, we can do this, chat. Exclamation point donate and put those donations towards that incentive. Also, because I like instilling chaos. For you two, kill or save the maiden. Let's throw that out there.
Go first, Carter. You go first.
I'm a maiden enjoyer. Me and maiden vibe. We get along. I'm going to spare her.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to go on Team Kill because you get a very satisfying stomp animation. So listen, if you want to see that, donate for Kill.
Satisfying, he says.
But yeah, we're entering World 3-1, the Prison of Hope. The goal of this area is to basically make your way around the maze that is set up for you. You're not meant to know where to go. It's set up in a way that's very arbitrary, and everything looks the same. So even runners can get lost in these levels if you're doing a different category or whatever. But we're gonna be going this path. We need to grab a key because there is a gate we need to go through. That key is on this wall right here next to this Mind Flayer. As you can see, these jailers are not very happy to see us outside of our cell. We're going to use the Nexial Bind. This is a mechanic that you can relinquish all of your souls that you've built up, and you can just teleport back to the Nexus whenever you want. That mechanic was replaced by a mechanic in other Souls games, the Homeward Bone mechanic. And as you can see, like there's just very, the groundwork was laid with Demon Souls, right? Like,
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about this game is you can sort of see the first iteration of a lot of ideas and mechanics and stuff that they've developed in all those other games that we like.
yeah, and this was also my first ever speedrun game. This is a little bit of lore, some personal lore. So I'm just very, very proud to be showcasing this game on the big stage at GDQX. So I'm just very, very honored to be here. And if you want to give us an update on the bid war, by the way, I'd be happy to hear you out on that.
Oh, absolutely. Right now, we are sticking with White World tendency with sparing the maiden at $485 and killing the maidens at $445. So it is a close race right now.
Very good. I want to see some sparers get those donations in.
Absolutely. You guys got time. It's going to be at like around the very end of the run. We will make it clear when we're going to close the bid war. So
Yeah.
get those donations in. And yeah, I mean, we're going to be continuing on through this prison. We have some time for a few more donations, if you don't mind.
Sure thing. We have $5 from Anonymous, and I know one of you won't be happy to hear this. I got a donation. It's all caps, mind you. I got a donation for May Denless. May Denless?
May Denless.
I like it. Thank you so much.
You can keep going.
Sure. $10 to World Central Kitchen from Berto, please. Yo, blanxz. Yo, Carter. Best of luck and make me proud. Glad to see Demon Souls back in GDQ after the totally real tradition of having on for every 4 years. Gonna have to make sure one of those boys submits in 2029.
Thank you, Berto. Berto is a legendary Demon Souls speedrunner, a very valued member of the community who's also showcased this game at past GDQs. Here we're having a little bit of trouble with this Mind Flayer, squid-faced...
As you can see, I'm caught in a bit of a loop. Okay.
That's never happened?
That's never happened before. It's one of those moments. Listen, I swear it's never happened before. But yeah, what I was doing there was I was quitting out. I was caught in a loop there. So essentially, I would quit out and I would get trapped again. This is why we picked up the Stone of Ephemeral Eyes, by the way, in the Nexus. We're going to be using this now to return to our body form. It's not a big deal, you know, as long as you have that extra stone, you're able to return to body form. And that's one of those things that, like, people will say about this game is that it's very, very punishing because it does have those obscure mechanics like the world tendency and like the soul form, as stuff like that. Like the levels and the design of levels, they end up being much harder than the boss fights themselves, which is why you end up having situations like that where you die and you're put at half HP, then you're kind of lost in this
getting
helpless prison, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's very atmospheric in a way.
Very intended. This is how Miyazaki wanted us to play Demon Souls, getting spawn camped by a mind flayer.
But yeah, we picked up a ring right there. That is called the Ring of Magical Sharpness. What that allows us to do is it gives us a 10% boost in our magic damage, and it's going to give us a 10% debuff actually in magic damage taken. So double-edged sword, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take it for the speed run because it makes fights much, much easier. And we're going to be picking up some more keys here. The theme of the level is that there's a bunch of these gates, and you really don't know which one leads you to where. So it's one of those things where you'll spend a couple hours in this level on your first playthrough just because you're kind of lost and everything looks the same, and you're just like kind of helpless, which is again what we were saying, that like kind of Miyazaki wants you to feel that way, which is kind of part of the artistic design of this game as well, which is why I love it so much. Is that it's very atmospheric.
Yeah, the third Archstone especially is really inspired, especially the level that we'll get to after this one is one of my favorite levels in really any Souls game. So one thing I wanted to point out here is you may have noticed before we came to the Prison of Hope, blanxz bought a dagger from the merchant in the Nexus. And that's going to be really important for the boss fight coming up. But first, we need to pick up this item.
Going to use a little bit of a safe strat there where I pick up the item while the arrows are actually flying. What happens is my character ducks down and my hitbox actually is so low that I'm not being hit by the arrows there. A little bit of a safe strat there because I did roll right away after. I'm very glad that worked. There is a achievement that you can get for picking up that item. I guess not picking up the item, but just getting past this arrow trap without having to go the long way around. I didn't even know there was a long way around until today, honestly.
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
Apparently Carter knows and I don't, so speedrunner, by the way.
Well, it's the long way is slower, so we can't be doing that.
True.
And
Very true.
Here we're going to make our way down this very long hallway, and the reason we're doing this is because the boss at the end of this level is actually not killable unless you, spoiler alert, take out this puppeteer fellow up here who's casting a spell on her. So farewell to him, and now we're going to be able to kill the boss.
Yeah, so what that does is, like Carter says, it breaks the spell, and so now we can go ahead and we can take care of the boss. We need to drop down and grab an item real quick, so I'm going to do a little bit of a toggle drop. I'll explain that in a minute, but we go grab that item. That item's very important for later. We're going to also drop down here and block her arrow. We're going to block one more as well.
Yeah, so here we're taking some intentional damage to set up the ring that we picked up in that arrow bridge. It's called the Clever Rat's Ring. Elden Ring enjoyers might know it better as the Sword Talisman, and Dark Souls heads might know it as the, what's it called in Dark Souls?
RTSR.
RTSR, yeah, RTSR. So basically what this does is it boosts our damage greatly when our health is low.
And you want to explain the boss fight here coming up?
Yeah, so this is one of my favorite strategies in the game. It's a stun lock, and this is why we picked up the dagger. So blanxz is attacking at a very specific pace with great focus and determination, and if he gets the right number of hits in with the right pacing, then he's going to be able to stop the boss from doing anything. One more should do it.
Oh, a little bit of extra HP there. Let's see if we can find her. We find her? Okay, I'm going to just quit out. You can get lucky and you can just get the first spawn be the real one. She makes a bunch of clones and we're going to just quit out. We're going to try again.
Which is kind of cool for the marathon because I wanted to show this off. It's a really cool strat.
Yeah, it's basically like a stun lock where if you just leave a tiny bit of stamina in between your swings, you're able to get her to just get stuck in a loop. If you let it go, she will teleport away right away. So that's not very good. We're going to try again. It's 25 hits here. Try it again.
Yeah, that's looking good. I think at some point someone did the math and figured out that the correct pace is about 76 to 78 beats per minute. So you could actually find a song that you like that is at that tempo and practice it with that. I think I can't remember any examples off the top of my head. Great fight.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's a very rhythmic exercise there, which I like.
All right, so we are moving on from the Fool's Idol. We're going to go back to the Nexus, and we are going to level up our magic stat up to 24. I did lose souls from dying to the Mind Flayer. However, I did pick up an extra soul if you noticed a while ago when I first got to the Prison of Hope. So we're going to see if I need to use that.
It looks like we should be good.
The Maiden will sign us up for the Soul program. We can now seek Soul power. Yeah, so we're going to use the extra soul. We're only going to get 23. So the reason why we need 24 in particular is because it's just just like a nice number to have for the boss fights. You need to have the like a certain amount so you can kill a boss in 7 hits instead of like 8 hits, for example. So.
Right, and we do need to be careful not to use the Doll Demon Soul there because we're going to use that to purchase one of the most important items of the game, which is actually a spell. You may have noticed that we're starting to gravitate towards a magic build, and that is because magic is extremely powerful in this game. So we're going to transition away from the melee-based approach and start building out sort of a nuclear bomb build with a couple of magic spells you can get from boss souls.
Yeah, so we're basically setting up our character to be a, like Carter said, like a one-shotting machine. We're back here. Oh, there's my souls. I'll take them. Sure, why not?
There we go.
Yeah, we're back here in the Prison of Hope. You might be asking yourself why we're doing that. When we killed that NPC that was blocking the key and was casting that spell, that NPC was guarding a key that unlocks the Sorcerer NPC in the game. There's a couple of Sorcerer NPCs in the game that you can buy spells from, but he's the only one that you can buy boss spells from. So we let him free from jail, then he comes back to the Nexus with us. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go into his little hovel over here, and we're going to grab his spell. In world record attempts, you would just run past them for now, and then you'd come back later. However, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to get the soul right now, because like Carter said, we don't want to consume the soul on accident, so we're just going to consume it now and buy the most important spell for right now.
Yeah.
Then we're going to head out to the Island's Edge, which is, as the original players would remember it, 4-1. And we're going to be running past the infamous skeleton section. So if you want to help me out, Carter, while I run through here.
Yeah, so this is another one of those times when we're doing some very precise pathing and some very intricate manipulations of the enemy AIs. These skeletons kind of go into a somersault animation, which is really hard to predict. blanxz just did a great job getting around them without taking any hits. And then we'll do a quit out here to reset their position so we don't need to continue running away from them in a state of extreme panic.
Yeah, absolutely. That is one of the more scary sections. In the original speedrun, it's actually like much harder, I would say. In the remake, it's a lot smoother. Like the movement of the enemies is a lot smoother. It's a lot more predictable. So I'm able to, bait them out and then run right past them. So here we are going to be running past a couple more of these skeletons, and then we're going to be setting up again that hyper mode for the next boss, which is going to be the Adjudicator. But first here we have a little mini skip here. So we're going to be just rolling off this ledge, and that's essentially just the skip. It's so easy that it's basically intended.
I think that's one of the few skips, correct me if I'm wrong, that was in OG and preserved to the remake.
I think so, yeah. It's one of the only skips that still exists in the same fashion. So there we're going to block 3 arrows from that arrow trap there, and that's going to be perfect damage to set up our Clever Rat Ring, which is perfect for the next boss, the Adjudicator. It's going to be a giant demon with a cleaver, and we're going to be focusing the little bird nest on top, because that is the source of the boss. The bird is controlling the boss, essentially. And we need to basically kill the bird. That way, the Adjudicator just falls down and dies.
And there you get your first glimpse of just how powerful magic is in this game. I think that was 4 hits.
Yeah, that was about 4 hits. With fireballs, it's like 6, but it's a little bit faster because you don't need to... Thank you. You don't need to get the spell attuned from Frake. And now we're going to find the Maiden, which it's a little bit dark, so I can't see her. She is over here in the corner. Hi, Maiden.
Yeah, the Maiden actually appears in a random spot every time you enter the Nexus. So a lot of the time when you're doing world record attempts and stuff, it can be pretty frustrating because you might end up wasting 5 seconds trying to figure out where she is, and then she's just kind of having a little sit over there in the corner.
Yeah. So here we are entering Upper Latria. This is 3-2, if you're, an enjoyer of the original game. World 3, Level 2. I'm glad that the remake added names, actually, because, they also added a ton more atmosphere and a ton more just immersion to the levels as well. But I'm glad that the levels are named now, so I can, instead of saying, oh, we're in 3-2, we can say, oh, we're in Upper Latria, right? So Upper Latria is it's the second level after you kill the Fool's Idol. You get sent up top, and basically you are blocked by this giant heart. You can probably hear it beating. There's a giant heart in the middle of the level, so we can take a look at it. Oh, hello there. Yeah, so this heart will block us from going up the stairs. The stairs go up to the boss level. However, we need to take a left turn here, a little bit of a detour, because we are going to be releasing the chains holding the heart up. So as we head up to the first chain, we can have a couple more donations, so take it away for us.
Absolutely. I want to give a quick update on the bid war incentive. We are still needing $70 to complete our 100 meals for people in need. As for the bid war right now, it has been a change. We are currently killing the maiden, but we are only ahead by $10. So if you want to either make some money or make some food for people in need, or kill or spare the maiden, exclamation point donate, and put your donations towards that. That said, there was an addendum that was included in Berto Police's previous donation I wanted to bring up. It said, spare the poor maiden, please. She suffered enough in the hands of these evil runners.
These evil runners who talk about how satisfying it is to stomp on her head.
With 3 exclamation points, so you know it's mean business there.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm glad Berto's on a team spare this time, because I've definitely heard him express the other view in the past.
I was going to say, a little bit hypocritical of the speedrunner himself, but that's okay.
That's okay.
Thank you again, Berto, as well. We are, by the way, we just released the first chain of the heart. We're going to activate the elevator now that goes down to the swamp area. We're going to grab some mana potions and going to ride on top of the elevator. So we can get it here.
Yeah, this is a very minor but very funny skip. It actually saves time to not go into the elevator, but to just stand on top of it.
This one actually also exists in the OG game, by the way. It's not really even like a skip, it's just a little manipulation or abuse of the elevator, I guess. But anyway, we have time for a couple of donations.
Well, I did want to say we officially have made 100 meals for people in need, so thank you so much for that, friends. We also have, definitely get some applause there. An anonymous Crystal Lizard has donated $100 to WCK with the comment, gamers using their skills to help others should be an example to everyone that is good at what they do. Thank you for the opportunity to contribute. More of this, please. Agreed. Thank you so much for that.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah, so anyway, we are in the swamp area of Upper Latria. We are basically just fighting our way through the swamp of these, I don't know what you call them, like centipede,
scorpion creatures.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's a long running section, but one thing that I find really interesting about the glitchless run is like how many glitches and skips we don't do. The any percent and any percent, we have a no major glitches category, and they're both very broken. Like this game has deloading tech, we have a ton of out of bounds stuff, we've got dupes of items, there's a lot of glitches and skips, and I think the glitchless run is one of the longer glitchless runs out of all the Souls games, and then the any percent is one of the fastest. So it's kind of cool to see the glitchless run because A, you get to see so much more of the game, and also like finding these optimal movements and strategies and ways to avoid enemies and kind of get these running sections as fast as they can without any of the really bonkers tech that we have is pretty interesting, and it's been cool to see glitchless runners develop it over the last 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think about this game being out for that long. But yeah, if you're wondering what I was doing there, by the way, I was doing a quit out before I crossed that bridge. The reason for that is because this is the world's longest elevator. And so we're going to quit out to make the cycle kind of line up to when we approach the elevator. And again, we're going to be taking out these 4 enemies, blocking, or basically keeping the chain held up for the heart of Latria. And so they chose the 4 world's weakest bodyguards. However, I'm not complaining. We are now going to head towards the boss fight of the level, which is going to be the Man-Eater. However, we have a bit of a climb, so you can take it away with some more donations.
Sure thing. $50 from RepCam09 says, been fun to watch these at TwitchCon. Keep up the good charity work. Thank you so much. We also have $22 from Jack D Games Play, who says, I've been watching GDQ since 2017 and always loved the games that are speedran. Agreed. And I do have an update. Apparently, people took Berto Please's comment to heart. So we are currently now sparing the maiden.
Let's go.
So for those of you in attendance and watching at home at twitch.tv/gamesdonequick, if you want to see us kill the maiden in black, Want that perfect black world tendency? Exclamation point donate and put your donation towards that bid war.
It's still close.
It's still very close.
Sparers can't get comfy yet.
Yeah, we'll see a bunch of lead changes, I imagine, as the run goes on. But anyway, we're going to be quitting out here. Purpose of this is we're going to be resetting the Mind Flayer's aggro. We want him to shoot us with magic here, so as we load in, we will hopefully be getting shot here. Oh, one more. Thank you.
Nice.
And so there we're going to toggle escape. Like I mentioned before, the toggle escape mechanic, you basically can cancel a stagger or any form of damage by just toggling your weapon on and off. It's only present in Demon's Souls and Dark Souls 1, so if you're familiar with the other games, it's not really prevalent in those games. However, it's very useful here. And we're approaching the Maneater, by the way. I will let Carter take it away. This is a very hard boss for me. I have to focus for, so I will let Carter help me out here.
Yeah, this is one of the most difficult parts of the run. What we're doing here with the Maneater is we're trying to snipe them from a good distance with our Soul Ray. And blanxz is doing something here called pivot casting. You can see he's actually walking away from the boss and then shooting his magic spell at the boss. And by doing that, he can actually get the shots off a little faster than normal. The boss it approaches, it has a really dangerous jump attack. It sometimes does that, where it will just stand there and let you shoot it in the face, which is quite convenient. And blanxz was able to take out the first Maneater before the second one showed up, which is great. You do not want to be fighting both of these at the same time. And here we're kind of continuing along the same thing. We're also, you'll notice he's trying to maneuver himself and the boss towards the end of the boss arena. Great dodge there. And by doing that, we're going to save time because when we kill the boss, we'll be ready to move on. Just one more shot should do it. Great fight. Amazing fight, actually.
Yeah, thank you. I always get scared of Maneaters.
Oh, yeah.
Runs and PB attempts.
That's a clincher for sure.
Yeah. We are going to, by the way, use the Maneater's soul right away. If you touch an Archstone, you can go ahead and you can grab the soul from the boss. We're going to be getting right into the next boss, though. This is the Old Monk that we're going into right after. We're going to be, again, preserving that clever rat setup. We're going to, oh, it looks like I'm not one-shotting with the falchion for some reason.
R2?
Yeah. Wonder why. It's okay. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll also notice that blanxz popped a Bright Water, which is going to restore his mana over time. So he was able to restore all the mana that he used on the Maneater fight on his way up the stairs, which is also a nice little optimization to save time. Now, as we're making our way to this next boss, I need everyone in chat sitting at home and everyone especially here in the audience to please hold on to your chairs because this next boss is coming for them.
Don't let Old Monk near your chairs, chat.
Don't let
please.
him, yeah, he
hates them.
He can't stand them.
As you can see, he cannot stand the presence of chairs. So we're gonna go for 4 soul rays here. The point of this is to use the time that he's distracted by the chairs to, kind of scary, to get some damage off. We need to get like 1 more hit off here.
Nice.
We're gonna go for a backstab now. We're gonna try to finish the fight off with a backstab. Okay, it's fine, 1 more. Thank you.
Very nicely done.
All right, thank you very much. That one's like, yeah, in any percent, that one's like the hardest fight in the run. You have less damage as well, so that was a pretty textbook example of Old Monk if you get the good opener as well. So
yeah, and you might notice with a lot of these boss fights, even though they go down pretty fast, it's very high risk, high reward because we're doing all these fights in the clever rat range. So we're basically have to do them hitless. Our health is so low that if you get hit by basically anything at this point in the game, that's it.
yeah. So from Old Monk, we got a very, very powerful spell. This is like the premier magic spell in the game. That is the Homing Soul Mass, or Homing Soul Arrow in this game. This is basically like the prototype for all the Souls games to come. Magic is very, very simplified in this game, which means that all the spells that are textbooks in the later games are like the most powerful version of themselves in this game. We are, by the way, in World 5. This is the first look at World 5. This is the Swamp of Sorrow. As you can see, I'm very sorry that I fell there and had to quit out. But yeah, this is the Valley of Defilement in the OG, and the way that this level works, that we're trying to make our way down to the bottom. We're going to be opting to not do a skip because there is a chance that you can do a illegal slope quit out and invalidate your run. So we're going to be not doing that. So we're going to instead just be going the normal way. And I may even take a time to heal right here before I cross this fog gate.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, because this full moon grass, by the way, does heal you like basically to full. So we are very, very happy to pick up the 4 from Maneater. And I want to actually touch on a little mechanic that we didn't really touch on at all. We got a chance to do on this run because the reason why I was not able to one-shot those enemies in the Old Monk fight is because of World Tendency. Because I died in World 3-1, it made my tendency lower, which made the boss a little bit tankier, and that included the mobs in the boss fight. Anyway, here's the Leechmonger. It's going to be very, very quick if he behaves. Just going to be homing Soul Arrow into a Soul Ray, homing Soul Arrow into a Soul Ray, and when I roll down, if I get Leech Pants, it's lucky. It's a lucky run. All right, I got Leech Pants.
Leech
GG.
Pants!
But yeah, that is the Leechmonger. We're going to be warping straight away to World 2, the Smithing Grounds. This is a mechanic that is new to the remake, actually. Once you have cleared out a level in its entirety, so we cleared out World 3. Old Monk is the last boss in World 3, so there are no more bosses left in World 3. You get the Nexial Agent, which allows you to warp between the Archstones, which is not something that's present in the original. You simply just have to go back to the next every time you want to warp away, so it's very useful to have something like that.
Right, and at this point in the run, you're starting to see kind of the full power of the build that we go for in pretty much every category of Demon's Remake, which is that we have Soul Ray, Homing Soul Arrow, we have the Ring of Magical Sharpness, we have the Clever Rat's Ring, all of those stacked together to just produce insane magic damage output. And we're actually going to pick up another item in this level that's going to boost our magic damage even more.
Yeah. Here we're going to be taking out this enemy here. The point of that is we're trying to line up a skip. This is called the, I guess, lever skip is what you want to call it. We're trying to line up so we can backstep into the wall twice. We'll do it like one more time.
Yeah, and without getting into the ancient philosophical debate over what is and isn't a glitch, we have agreed as a community to allow this skip in the run because it's very cool.
Yeah.
Basically what happens there is he, by inching off the ledge and landing on the lever, the game saves his position at the top of the ledge, so he's able to pull the lever, open the door, and then load back in right here.
Yeah. So, very much teetering on the line of what is and isn't the glitch. However, we have a second skip coming up. I promise it's not teetering. This is completely valid. This is the Water Veil skip. That's the reason why we still have Water Veil on. There's a big lava pool here that you have to normally go all the way around and pull a lever. Instead, we're going to be putting on Water Veil and blocking fire, literally holding up our shield and blocking fire. So that basically essentially sets us up in the Clever Rat range again. It also is able to bypass that very long running section of going around and grabbing the lever and then, pouring water on all the fire.
Yeah, interestingly, the whole blocking lava thing was discovered like somewhat recently. For a long time, we did that skip by, what did we just roll twice?
We just rolled twice, hope we didn't die. It was very toxic.
It was very bad.
Yeah. It was found by a no-hit runner, actually. They were trying to figure out a way to do it by taking 0 damage, actually, for a no-damage run, and they were able to find a shield that's 100% fire resistant, so if you throw a Water Veil on with that, you take no damage, actually, which is kind of cool.
A word of advice to everyone watching at home, I do not think that a shield will protect you from hot lava in real life, so do not attempt to replicate Water Veil skip should you find yourself in a volcano or other lava-infested
that is a very specific
environment.
Situation.
Also, pouring water on yourself does not count as Water Veil, so... Anyway, we grabbed the Crisp Blade, which is what Carter was talking about before. It is a sword that boosts our sorcery damage by about 5%. It's just enough to make a difference in some of the boss fights. And we're going to be entering the Armored Spider, which is going to be the first boss fight that is affected actually by the Crisp Blade. We're going to cast Homing Soul Arrow. We're going to walk close enough to where they collide with him. Pivot cast again, take him out in one hit.
Very nice. I really like that boss. It's a really cool design with the hallway and stuff. Unfortunately, he doesn't really get to enjoy much screen time in this run.
Yeah, Armored Spider is pretty cool. I like the gimmick as well. Here we're going to be doing a little bit of a cheeky drop down here. We're going to be rolling off this ledge, hopefully landing in the right spot. Very nice. Okay, so we are going to be doing these drop downs. We're essentially trying to get to the bottom as quickly as possible while also setting up ourselves in Clever Rat again. The goal of this run is to be always in Clever Rat for the boss fights because as you can see, you do massive damage. The difference is like crazy. Like if you don't have it on, like you'll notice for sure. But yeah, coming up here is the Flame Lurker, which is actually a very, very scary fight for me. So I'm going to be very cautious, and also I'm going to be grabbing the Stone of Ephemeral Eyes over here, just to be extra careful. And you want to give us a little bit of context, Carter?
Yeah, sure. This is a terrifying boss. blanxz is going to take a few steps into the arena, and then he's going to cast the Homing Soul Arrow right as the boss is baited towards him. That looked good. And then we should be able to stand just outside of his attack range. Okay, he didn't behave there. We just need to hit him with one more. Easier said than done. Very nice.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of those high-risk, high-reward bosses. If he even touches you, like if he just hops in your general vicinity, then you die. And you only need to hit him with 2 spells, but like I said, it's pretty difficult to pull off. So great job there, especially missing the first one. Great recovery there.
Yeah, and we're going right away to the next boss battle. This is the Dragon God. This is the god at the beginning of the game that punches you. He gets really mad at you for invading his world, and basically punches you, sends you to the Nexus. But now we're confronting our demons. The way that it works is we're going to break the first rubble. Once he gets mad, we use it a consumable, because the consumable will reset his aggro. And now we're going to head towards the first ballista. This is kind of the gimmick of this fight. So you touch the ballista, then it takes about a quarter of his HP. Maybe a little bit over a quarter, actually. Yeah, more like half his HP. Okay.
And then at this point, we're basically just doing a mad sprint. blanxz does need to be very careful here watching his stamina. If you look at the green bar at the top of the screen, he needs to make sure that he doesn't fully run out of stamina. As long as he keeps it high enough, which it looks like we're good, then we can get past the boss without getting his flame breath.
Yeah.
And that looked good. Yep, we got him.
So this is one of those gimmick fights. As you can see, there's a lot of them in this game, actually. So we're going to touch a second ballista, and what's going to happen is he's going to be basically incapacitated for the rest of the boss fight. Like, he can't really do much. He's just going to sit there and breathe fire at us. And we're simply going to just one-shot him with magic, because magic is a direct counter to everything in World 2. There's even a little message at the start of the level that says, like, magic is strong here, use magic.
Yeah.
So
the game just straight up tells you, like, hey, use magic.
yeah, we're going to be waiting for the art stone to appear, by the way, then we're going to next heal bind. The reason why we're waiting is because there is a small chance that you get fully soft locked out of beating the game. If you next heal bind too early, the boss will die, but will not count as being like completed. And so you will literally be soft locked from beating the game, which is not good.
Can't have that.
Especially for a marathon. So we'll wait a couple extra seconds. But yeah, we're heading on over to the Swamp of Sorrow, which is it's World 5-2. And it's going to be a little bit of a trudge through the mud. I love how this game brings you to all different types of worlds. There's like a beach level, there's like a swamp, there's like a mining spot. So lots of like world variety here, which is really cool. We're gonna do a little skip here, by the way. We're gonna land on this little platform, then jump down here, wait for fall damage register, come down here. We're gonna eat a healing grass, and we're going to head towards the fall gate. The reason why we're eating a healing grass is because we are basically going to be setting up our HP again in Clever Rat. We're using poison to do so, because poison is going to be prevalent throughout the entire level. And so yeah, can we get an update, by the way, on the bid war? Like, how are we looking?
Oh, absolutely. Kill is quite literally in striking distance of Spare. Spare is still in the lead. So you are running out of time for getting that bid war met. We also did unlock a brand new incentive for the next run, which is Cuphead. If we raise $1,000 before I believe the end of the run, if met, our runner General Andrews will show off some bonus run and gun levels featured within Cuphead itself. So if you would like to put your donation towards that incentive, we have to raise $1,000.
Yeah, and we are on a good pace here. I think we've got 5 more bosses before we're going to close out that bid war. So I don't know. I've made my position clear. I want to see the Maiden survive this GDQ event. But if you feel differently, make your voice heard with a donation.
What would Bernto want, Carter?
Yeah,
Ask yourself, what would Bernto want?
I don't know what Berto wants. He seems to change his mind a lot.
Yeah, so we are basically heading through the swamp, and we're doing this little mechanic where we're swapping our weapon from two-hand mode to one-hand mode over and over again. What that does is it buffers a little bit of stamina, and so we can use that to our advantage, because we can basically cheat a little bit of stamina for free. So we do that. We do that constantly in the swamp just to make sure that we're, we're being very, very efficient with our stamina.
Yeah, and we've had a nice breath of fresh air there. Well, it's actually probably very disgusting air. But the chill time is over now. We're actually entering a very, very scary running section.
That was very scary.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that, but...
Yeah, and that's gonna, that kind of thing happens a lot.
It's a premonition for the area coming up.
Yeah, so this is the Goblin Village or the Dregling Village. These guys have very kind of unpredictable AI. You can see blanxz is using Cloak, and that is actually even stronger than the Thief Ring at reducing enemy aggro. So hopefully we're not gonna get any aggro. He's gonna do an attack there to make sure that guy doesn't get a quick hit in. And it looks like we made it to the boss just fine. So this is gonna be the Dirty Colossus.
You can help me out here with the commentary if you want to.
Sure. We're gonna take out this guy using the same strategy we've been using. It's, well, first we actually need to do a melee hit on his belly, and that's gonna break the cage and allow us to damage him with our magic spells. So we're gonna HSA Soul Ray. Gotta watch what he does because he does have some dangerous attacks, and that should do the trick. Very good.
So one thing you want to be careful about with this fight is you want to make sure you don't break the cannon arm. If you break the cannon arm, he actually has a stray head on top of his shoulder that will shoot in intervals. It will shoot a random bit of flies that does deal a lot of damage to you. So it's very important for this fight actually not to take any damage during Dirty Colossus, because this is made in Astraya, the archdemon of the level. And so the reason why I just used the heal there is because there is like mega poison coming up, so we need to make sure that we are like prepared for the mega poison. We're also gonna put on our purple lotuses here. These are gonna help us a lot. It's gonna heal the poison.
Yeah, so we jump down onto the plague babies here. This is not particularly difficult fight because she doesn't attack, but it does require some very precise tech here. So he's gonna heal the plague with the purple lotus, and then he's gonna attack her as fast as possible, because if you don't attack as fast as you can, then she'll start to heal, and then everything really falls apart. That was a perfect execution there. I know it happened really fast, but trust me, it was impressive.
Thank you, thank you. So that is World 5 down. We have completed World 2, World 3, and World 5. So remaining worlds are World 1 and World 4. And so we'll start out here with 1-2. This is the Lord's Path, where there is a dragon following me all around the level. And so you'll see me doing a precise line. I'll point it out like when I start sprinting. Basically what it'll do is it'll manipulate the dragon to be a little bit just too late, and it won't be able to roast me. So I will start sprinting on this patch of grass like right now. And so now I can just sprint freely on this bridge, and this dragon will not be of any concern to me at all. It'll be a little bit too late. As you can see, it's coming around right now.
Yeah, and we've talked a lot about precise pathing and manipulating enemy aggros and running what we call lines and that kind of thing. And this is basically the apex of that. This is the final boss of running very precisely. As you can see, there's a ton of enemies. There's also the dragon blanxz mentioned. And we need to make sure that we move fast, but not too fast.
You need to wait here for a couple seconds.
Yeah, we don't want to throw off the dragon cycle.
So now the dragon is, again, it's going to flame the second part of the bridge, and we can run past the third part now. This is the hardest part for beginners, is waiting that couple of seconds on that fog gate, because you think speed run, go fast, but you need to wait a little bit for this one.
Yeah, and if this seems scary in our any percent category, this is like the first thing you do in the entire
with half
run.
HP, because you're
with half HP.
Yeah.
So it can always get worse.
This is I got the fog wall bug. This is the Tower Knight, by the way. So if you want to just help us out here for a second, Carter.
Yeah. So basically, with Tower Knight, what we need to do is get past his shield and his spear, and then we're going to cast 2 spells, and he's going to die before I can finish this sentence. Or
you did finish sentence. However, you didn't live very much longer.
Yeah.
That is our good old friend Tower Knight. And also, by the way, but we didn't mention that the archers up top, they can't really see us because we casted Cloak.
Yeah.
It's if you ever played Bloodborne, it's similar to the One Reborn boss fight where there's the Bell Maidens up top, so you can see the inspiration actually for the One Reborn here in Demon Souls. So again, another Easter egg, I guess, for a later title.
I never connected that, but that's exactly what that is. They just made the fight disgusting, and then it was One Reborn.
Yeah. So now we're going to be heading into World 3, which is probably the hardest execution-wise running section in the entire game. There's lots, like what Carter was saying about, like lines and manipulating enemy AI, and there's a bunch of scary parts in this level. So you'll see me, taking very, very careful and specific lines, towards the level and towards the enemies. Do not want to get flipped there by the halberd. Because again, like we have been saying for the entire run, we're setting up the Clever Rat. And the way that I do that is by taking some intentional damage at the end of the level. But not quite yet. We don't want to take damage quite yet. We're going to be rolling over these boulders because they don't do any damage to us if we roll perfectly like that. Again, like we said, Animation Style B helps you out to get over those boulders a little bit easier.
Yeah, I like that it still shows the animation of your character erupting in flames, but it doesn't actually do any damage.
You start like yelling in pain, but it's like, whatever.
No, I'm fine,
I have
actually.
iframes. Yeah. So yeah, as you can see, there's just a ton of enemies. It's part of that dated level design of just enemy, enemy, enemy over and over again. Right here, there's another boulder that we're going to run through, or we're going to roll through. And then dodge the halberd. Thank you for not slamming down on me. And so we're going to take some intentional damage up here. Not there. Not you. Going to take some damage taking our armor off here so we can have less defenses. Take these 2 arrows, and we're not aggroing this guy to my right. Being very careful about that. So
that
now we
was
can
a
put
perfect setup.
Yeah, put our armor back on now just because I'm going to be taking...
we need to be decent.
Yeah.
We're about to go see the king.
Exactly, yeah. We need to put our best foot forward, so to speak. So up here is a enemy gauntlet that is very, very scary. So I'm trying to basically aggro the enemies in a way where they don't all gang up on me. So we're going to block these 2 spearmen, and then we're going to roll past them.
I just had the most secondhand fear ever, but we got through it very good.
So here we're going to basically be mind controlling the next boss penetrator. I call it mind control, but basically manipulating his AI. 1, 2, 3, cast. He's going to jump. He did not jump, just like my practice run. He wouldn't listen to me in practice. He would not listen to me now.
He knows he's at a marathon.
He knows he's at a he's shy. He's shy. But yeah, we're going to be taking out penetrator in... What am I doing less damage? Oh, Crisp Blade. That's right. I don't have Crisp Blade on. Come on. Don't be shy. You're at a marathon. Come on. Don't be shy.
Let the people see you. There we go. There we go.
So we're going to be eating some mana potions. We need to cast a spell at the top of the King's Tower. This is 1-4. This is the only level in the game that is 4 levels. This is going to be 1-4, and we're going to be cloaking past a bunch of enemies with some red spirits that are going to be very angry with us. We're going to be avoiding them entirely. We're also going to be running up this very, very scary tower of Balatarian Knights. And then we're going to cast a homing soul arrow while we're still in stealth mode on this guy, which is why I bought Cloak, is because you can have the Clever Rat Ring as well as having the invisibility effect. So here we're going to trigger a big dragon to fly down onto the bridge, and essentially it's going to try to roast us alive, as well as these officials right here will be shooting fireballs at us.
Yeah, we got to be careful to not get shot in the back by these officials.
We did get double melee, so it's fine. That was pretty good RNG right there. They both did melee attacks with their glaives, so very good RNG there. And now we're doing stamina management. We need to make sure we don't aggro the dragon too quickly. That looks pretty good. So the dragon's going to fly up to a spot where we can't hit it, obviously. The goal is to survive. It's not to... That happened in practice, but I'm going to do a quit out there. What that does is it basically it puts me in a spot where I can still... whenever I quit out on the death frames, it is able to put me in the spot that I last was at full HP. However, I do have full HP, which means that my King Allant fight is going to be a lot longer. But we have enough mana to, I think, survive it.
You could try to set up on Australia.
I'm not going to try to set up on it. No, that's extra cheeky. But yeah, we're going to be doing a homing soul arrow on him, and then just going to be running right past him, and then we're going to be on the world's longest elevator. Are you guys excited for the elevator ride? And while we're on this elevator, it's perfect time for donations and checking in on that bid war, by the way, because we're closing in pretty quickly.
Absolutely. We have warring donations, if you will. $25 to World Central Kitchen from Rubber Ducky, who says, we need to see the cutscene for killing the maiden. On the flip side, Casual Ballista Enjoyer has donated $100 to WCK, saying, in this house, we do not condone maidenless behavior. Good luck on the run and spare the maiden. Adding those 2 into the pot, we are currently sparing the maiden.
All right.
But you are running out of time, friends. Exclamation point donate in chat. Get your money towards one of those options for the bid war. Kill or spare the Black Maiden, or Maiden in Black.
We can do like one more donation.
Alrighty then. We have $50 from 2 guinea pigs, who says, happy speedrunning and trans rights.
All right. Here we go. We're going to King Allant. This is the hardest boss in the game, in my opinion, so I'm going to be asking for absolute focus. And Carter, you can help me out here.
Yeah, so he is a very weirdly programmed boss. He can glitch around. He has a charge attack that kind of loses its tracking a lot of the time. He also has a few magic spells, which is mostly what we want him to use. So far, he's just kind of stalking towards us slowly and mean mugging, which he'll also do. And because we lost our Clever Rat setup, he's not taking as much damage as usual. We do have plenty of mana, and blanxz is doing a great job getting these homing soul arrows in. King Allant is, I don't know, I'm not real. Every time I fight this boss, he does some new strange thing. Like I guess today he just feels like walking around. You actually want him to use a couple.
There we go.
Yeah, this is a good one because that causes him to take counter damage. So you get a little bit of a damage boost if you hit him while he's using that tornado spell. Now blanxz is going to need to boost his mana. There's the glitchy charge. Yeah. And one more should do it.
Want to make sure that I'm not too close to him.
Yeah, one important detail is blanxz is doing a really good job of staying in that middle range with King Allant, and that allowed him to get a lot of casts off without getting hit by any melee attacks because his melee hits are very, very dangerous.
So that fight, I want to give some context. Like, you don't want to be fighting things without Clever Rat setup. Like, that was like very, very scary for me because you almost want to be on low HP so you can deal more damage. Like, it's a lot easier to not get hit, like, 5 times out of 10 than like, I got hit twice there because of like the redirection, the buggy charges and whatnot. So it's actually like a lot easier to like learn the game on low HP.
Yeah, it's very much a the best defense is a good offense type of situation.
Exactly.
You just don't want to be in the fight for very long. You want to kill him as fast as you can because he can do so much weird stuff that the longer it goes on, the more chance there is of just something horrible happening.
Yeah, and so now we're in the final world, by the way. This is World 4. This is the second level in World 4. And I wanted to mention that like this is your last chance to get in those donations, by the way, for the incentive for saving or killing the maiden. This is your last chance, guys, so make sure you get your donations in. We will call it when we're closing it officially, but you still have time.
A couple of really cool glitchless skips in this area. You don't see any of this in the any percent category. He did a roll off onto that platform, which is actually really precise, and then we take an intentional magic spell to the face from that Grim Reaper, and that's going to set up our Clever Rat, which, as we know, is very, very good. That is a really, really hard skip that blanxz just pulled off flawlessly. And that's also only in the glitchless category.
Yeah, that one we found actually a little bit after we found one using a animation abuse, and we realized that if it's going to rely on a certain animation of use and like, on 30 FPS, like we're not going to allow that in glitchless, but instead we found a way to do it on 60, quote unquote, the intended way or whatever you want to call it. So we ended up allowing it for glitchless runs. So that one's very, very cool. Love that one. We were heading into the old hero. This guy is blind, so you'll notice him not really noticing our presence until it's way too late. We're going to be putting on a cloak here. Just to be extra safe, we're going to also be concealing our movements so he can't even hear us as well. So I'm going to start out here by casting a homing soul arrow. Then when this one fires, I'm going to cast a second one and then drink a mana potion.
Yeah,
dodge one attack here. There we go.
Very good.
That should be it. Very nice.
All right, so now I need a lot of help from our live audience because this is the hardest thing in the entire speedrun. We need to count to 6.
Can you guys count to 6 with us,
Can you guys please help us count to 6? It's harder than it sounds.
We need to kill 6 of these manta rays. This is the Storm King. We need to kill 6 of them because it'll cause the Storm King to come down and face us. So with your help...
1.
Okay, that's 1. That's
2. 3.
3.
4. What's after 4? 6.
All right, thank you so much, guys. I lost count myself, so thank you so much for counting for me. That is 6 manta rays. Now, we're going to be careful. We're going to try not to take any hits in the back here. We need to be very, very careful and skirt to the coast over here. We need to get there very, very quickly, get into position, because we need to cast our cloak spell and put on our Clever Rat Ring. What it's going to allow us to do is we're going to be doing big damage while also being invisible. We're going to cast Cloak just right about now.
We're also going to be closing that incentive in about 15 seconds. So if you are thinking about pressing the donate button,
Now is the time.
Now is the time.
All right, here we go. Here's Storm King. We're going to be locking on to the eyeball, to the body. We're going to be doing 1, 2, and 3, and I guess another one. Okay, usually it's 3. But anyway, 4 hits. Next you'll bind and close.
There it is.
Let us know, are we killing the maiden or are we sparing the maiden? Who won?
Who won? We are sparing the
Wow.
maiden.
Let's go.
First time ever on GDQ, I think?
No maidenless behavior on this
Wow.
stage.
GG's everyone who donated. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
So, by the way, quick little thing. When we talked about animation styles at the start of the run, this is what animation style B is useful for. Like one of the only things in the entire game is the rolling animation saves a couple of seconds on these branches. It's because you're breaking all the branches, and like on A, you're going to essentially not break them as quickly as on B. So this is going to be the true King Elant boss fight. Very, very difficult boss here, as you can see. You know, gonna try not to take any hits here. You know, I'm concerned about the run. We might lose it here, guys. I don't know. I don't know about this one. But yeah, he's a helpless
You should
little
just
slug.
reset, honestly. I don't, this isn't looking good.
All right, so.
All right, that was actually the final boss.
That is the final boss. And because you guys chose to spare the maiden in black, we're instead going to leave. We're not going to hit her and take the demon soul for ourselves. We're going to leave. So.
Thanks. At last, the end is in sight.
All right, here we go, guys. Time will come up here when the cutscene starts playing. I will let you guys know. And time.
Great run, dude.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, everybody who donated for the bid war. As you can see, we have this wonderful cutscene where you know, the old one goes back into where he came from. The fog goes away. You kind of save the world. It's not a great ending because you end up losing the maiden in black. However, that's it from me. That's it from Carter. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're, you know, in the audience, at home, wherever you are, thank you so much. Shout out to the Souls community. Shout out to the Demon Souls community. Our other commentator, Nodraft, could not make it, but we miss you, buddy. We wish you were here. Shout out to everyone who, you know, supports Souls games, supports speedruns, supports my channel, supports Carter channel. If you want to find us on Twitch, the names are on screen. I am twitch.tv/blanxz, and you are Twitch TV, KarterAKA. And that's all from us. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys maybe in January. Goodbye, guys.
Thanks so much, everybody.